So I took the phone and I dialed. It went to the voicemail. I was like, hey. I don't have to talk to him.
I called my sponsor and said, I want to eat a cake now.
I remember lying on the floor on my back with my arms stretched out and saying, God, I don't know what to do anymore. I give up. I give up. I surrender. That was the turning point.
I was raised in a big family of a lot of brothers, and when we all hit puberty at the same time, like 7 of us, it got pretty abusive. The meanness and the way that my brothers were with me really tainted on who I was as a girl, who I was and became the woman, that I would never be enough. I would never be beautiful, I would never be thin enough, I would never be attractive, and I was not cherished. And my mom too wanted me to diet with her, and so I would eat well with her, and then behind her back I'd go eat cookies. Food became a comfort, and food was something that I usually did in secret. It was never enough. In my head, it wasn't enough, and that was being raised in the home, that I was. It was a German Catholic family, and no one would, my parents never said I love you. They would never praise you. As a young person, 18 or so, food was like a method of suicide. Because of that worth that and I couldn't stop. And it was more of an obsession about what am I going to eat, those types of things, rather than what matters in my life kind of thing. I remember eating whole loaves of white bread. It's nuts. It's nuts, but it was that, feeding that, that monster, soothing that thing, taking away the loneliness, all of that self-worth, and God was not in my life. Back then it was all very rote. It was always what you do, this is when you stand up, this is when you sit down. Jesus was not alive, God was not alive, and God was not a kind God. The old God would be not present. This is too little for God. God didn't belong in that. I was so fortunate I met my husband, Michael, and he was the first and only man who ever really loved me and cherished me, and he really thought I was beautiful. And I could not believe that I was beautiful. I landed here in Woodland Hills. I met a new God that wasn't the God that I was told God was in the Catholic faith. And with that, I was transformed in so many ways. I became baptized. I went to all the classes with my husband, and we really grew and thrived in this space. And I recognized that in one of the imaginative prayers that Jesus could not come and be close to me. When I tried to do that, Jesus was always way off in the horizon. It was because I always said at every Catholic Mass, the hundreds and thousands of Masses, that I was not worthy to receive Him. I was able to meet Jesus and be with Jesus. I was able to forgive my brothers. I was able to forgive myself. And it was hard to admit that I was a compulsive overeater. That when that bag of chips got open, I couldn't stop. It wasn't one Oreo, it was a whole row of Oreos. I was a success in all of the other arenas in my life, from my marriage to my work, to my friends, to my church, to my children. But this part was just I could never succeed. And it was always haunting me. It was always haunting me that's one place. And then it's because I didn't invite God into it. And Satan uses that as a tool to condemn. Doctors, for all those other addictions, if you get treated for alcoholism, they sent you to an AA meeting. If you are found that you are gambling and you do your mental health, they send you to Gamblers Anonymous. What do they do with food issues? Nothing. They say go on a diet. Stop eating like that. Do this healthy, and they don't really catch it that it's not about the thing, it's about the emotional piece that's missing. It's this hole in your heart that you're trying to fill. I had tried everything and could not find success, and I ended up going to a group called Overeaters Anonymous in Action. And it was profound for me because I met other people who had the same struggles that I did, and God was invited into the struggle and into the fight. And I went there and I went, wow, that's me. And then next week, wow, that's me. And I never knew that people were doing and saying and being the crazy things that I was doing and being. So for me, it's clearly eating 3 meals and a snack every day. And that's when I have obedience to God in that, then it seems like I have so much peace. And now I have a heart for myself and for others, and especially for others who are struggling with the same thing. Rob asked me to do a group, and I was so blessed by my friend Shannon who joined me, and we are co-leaders at the refuge around issues around food to help other people break and get out of their cages around self-image and around food and around weight. We can recover from this. We're not always going to be in recovery. That's my belief, and that's how we talk about it in the refuge. But my place is to serve other people, to help get them to recovered, to be with them and help them, show them how to open their cage.